Mom is protecting me?
Your mother is stubborn. She's lying to us because she's protecting someone. The only person I can think of would be you.
Yep.
Why?
Apparently she thinks that you're the criminal.
Why would she think that?
Your guess is as good as mine. Got any ideas?
Maybe because of her condition. Mom has dementia.
Yep.
Maybe her memory is just mixed up.
About Mayumi's dementia.
Everything is my fault. It's because of me that Mom is... I know how it looks now, but back in the day, the diner was doing pretty good. You know Bloom Park is close by here, right?
Yep.
People who visited the park would stop here a lot.
Yep.
But ever since the explosion 8 years ago...
The chemical plant accident?
Yeah. We're just barely outside of the restricted area, but... because Bloom Park closed, the number of customers dropped by a lot. The diner didn't last much longer. When this place closed, Dad started working at a Chinese restaurant chain during the day, and he was a security guard and traffic cop at night. Mom worked as a janitor. They were both working hard and barely got any sleep.
And you?
I was just a high school student at the time. I was such a dumbass. I thought it was totally normal to have both parents working, so I didn't even get a part-time job.
These days it
And
is.
they bought me a PC and Idol concert tickets. I had it good, but we were drowning in debt.
These days it is quite normal for both parents to be working. Unfortunately.
There's a loan on the house and the diner. Mom and Dad didn't let this place go. There are too many memories here to give it up. So they slaved day and night to keep it open. They worked and worked and worked. Thanks to them, I was even able to go to a good university, but right after I started, Dad...
Passed away?
Yeah, he had a heart attack. From overwork. But even then, I didn't get it, you know? I didn't appreciate how hard they worked for me. Even when I wasn't taking college seriously and getting bad grades, my mom didn't say a thing. She just smiled and told me that it was okay, even when I told her I was going to drop out. Mom, I'm thinking of dropping out of college.
What? Why do you want to do that, Ota?
I decided that I'm going to become a writer.
Wow, a writer. Oh, that's a good goal to have. But you really should finish college. You worked so hard to get in.
You don't understand, Mom. A writer has to put all of their time into their creativity. I won't have time to go to classes. Plus, I'm friends with the editor of a publishing company.
You are?
I'm definitely
Oh,
going
you
to have
were?
my first book published.
Is that right? Well, Ota, if you say so, I won't stop you. Do what makes you happy. You'll turn out just fine. I know you can do it. And no matter what happens, Mom will always be on your side, okay? Forever and ever. I'll always support you, Ota.
When I say unfortunately, these days, a lot of the time, both parents need to work. I'm saying unfortunately in the way of if they don't both work, the family can't pay bills, can't get along properly. Back 40, 50 years ago, back when my parents were my age, or maybe 30 years ago, my dad keeps going on about how he bought a house and paid it off in a few years. He owned his first house by the age 30. Outright. And my mum never had to work. He worked all by... He was the only one that worked. Back then, only one parent needed to work. The other one was able to survive without working, but they could if they wanted to. These days, that's all changed, and most of the time, both parents need to work just to survive, just to get along. I wish it was those days again where people got paid enough that only one parent had to work. The other one could if they wanted to. You lied about the editor thing, right?
Yeah, how do you guess? It was really just a few texts back and forth, but I was thrilled. I thought I could make it as a writer because of that. But it's impossible. I know there's no way I can be a writer. I've never
Why?
even finished writing a novel. Not even once.
Just
I always
work on
give up after
finishing
the
one.
first 5,000 words. To even apply for the amateurs contest, you have to submit 10 times that. But Mom, she kept supporting me.
Why do you keep giving up though? That's the thing, you give up yourself. Why do you give up on each book? Each time you start writing, why do you give it up? When did Naomi's illness start?
Not long after I quit college, Mom was always smiling at me. But I think she was starting to slip mentally. One day.
Oh, what's wrong, Ota? Do you have the day off from school?
Are you being sarcastic?
Oh, right. You don't attend anymore. Oopsie, I totally forgot.
How can you forget your own son's career choice?
Sorry. Anyway, are you hungry? You haven't eaten anything since this morning, have you?
Are you kidding?
What?
I ate breakfast and lunch already.
Oh, did you? By the way, Ota, what's living at the dorms like?
Why are you making fun of me?
I'm not teasing you, honey.
Don't fuck with me!
Dementia is sad though. Listen to the rest of the story.
Mom got sick because I'm such a piece of shit. I was only thinking about myself. I didn't take care of her.
It
I
wasn't
was so
because of you,
stupid, I
Ota.
didn't realize she was sick. I thought she was messing with me. I was so cruel to her for no reason. And she got worse and worse.
About that picture.
What's that picture?
Ota turned the photo frame to me so I could see.
Looking at this photo reminds me. One time, when I was a kid, I said something really bad to Mom and Dad, and they scolded me for it. And it's not like it was an apology or anything, but Dad and I gave her a Mother's Day gift. My mom was so happy that she cried. That's what this photo is from. Why did it turn out like this? I'm such a bad son.
At least he does see it
Hey,
now.
Iba.
When he was younger, he acted as a spoilt little child, which a lot of spoilt kids are like that. They just want what they want. They don't see what's actually happening with the family. The family can be going through terrible situations, but the spoiled kid just doesn't see it. And it's often too late by the time they do see it. And that's what's happened here. Ota didn't see it until it was way too late. And now he blames himself for the situation they're in.
What is it?
I don't like Ota one bit. But I can't imagine that this guy's the criminal.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm with Data.
Hearing
Date
his
there.
story made me think that he's not such a bad guy.
Your presumption is illogical.
Human beings are illogical. We're not like you AI. We can't be logical all the time. But we make up for it in one very important way.
What is that?
Intuition.
Do you find that useful?
At times.
Hmm.
Iba, let's go back to the cold storage warehouse. We might be missing something.
Understood.
I don't like Ota either, but his story is sad. He did leave Mizuki at that place. He wasn't thinking straight, and we know she can look after herself. He doesn't know what she can do, but we know
Dante,
Mizuki can look
weren't
after
you
herself
going to
in that
check the
situation.
warehouse?
I was, but a thought occurred to me. Iba, are you sure that Ota took this car?
As I've already explained, the security cameras at the Famisto parking lot saw the entire incident clearly.
So it was definitely Ota who drove it here.
Why are you stating the obvious?
Iba, who drove the van here?
There are two possibilities. Either Iris or the criminal who kidnapped Iris.
And Mayumi?
Considering the time that she purchased the chocolate, that would be almost impossible.
Yeah.
The van was hijacked from the Famisto parking lot at 10:32 p.m. At that time, Mayumi was in the 812 convenience store more than 100 yards away.
We found the chocolate Mayumi bought on the floor of the cold storage warehouse. But that doesn't prove she was actually at the scene. If she was, how did she get here? She wasn't in the van or the station wagon.
Of course, a different car. I will search for all vehicles that were in this area from Sunday night to Monday morning.
I had a feeling that's what you done there with that last one. I can understand, as much as it's a terrible thing that Ota left Mizuki there, when you are in that situation, sometimes you just don't know what to do, you don't think straight, and you just want to get out of there. And as a result, Mizuki did have terrible mental problems, and we needed to go into a Somnium to pull her out of it. So I don't think that would have changed if Ota stayed there, though. Ota did report it, so that was something at least. Iba connected to the end system's server and began her research. She got a result in no time. I'm not defending
Found
what
one
Ota
hit.
done,
A taxi.
but
Where's that taxi now?
I can kind of
It
understand.
is parked in Lemniscate's parking lot.
At Lemniscate. Why?
Unknown. But we should speak with the driver immediately.
Iba, what's in this box?
Your favorite kind of reading material, and a lot of it.
academic research papers on criminology?
No, the kind that features gratuitous nudity.
I'm surprised he didn't make a joke to take the box with him.
Just like my...
What is your you-know-what?
It could only be one thing.
Oh, your ego?
No, not my ego.
Hmm.
Date, look! A tonguefish on the ocean floor.
What's a tonguefish?
Yeah.
A flat fish, like the sole of a shoe.
You can see all the way down there?
Of course I can. My vision and my looks are my best qualities.
Hey, got a minute?
Are you talking to moi?
Moi?
Date, now is not the time to be distracted by this old man's diction.
Mind if I ask you what you're doing here?
Moi? I am but a humble taxicab driver.
We know.
There we go.
I'm with the police. I have some questions for you. Sofa King.
Don't.
Yeah, don't. I'm with Iba there.
Oh, have you taken note of the painting? It is titled Lions Fishing, Carpe Diem.
Everyone has a different name for it.
Date, look! An antlion! Yay! Go, antlion!
Iba has a strange fascination with insects. She does. For sure.
A high stool. It's like a tall seat.
Why are you stating the obvious?
That's exactly what it is, Date.
Ah, this is Magnus Spiel.
How do you know?
Featured, anyone can run a pyramid scheme. I believe I'll purchase that on my way home.
About Iris.
What? You're too far away. I can't hear you.
I walk closer to the receptionist.
Oh, I can't believe Tessa became a victim too. It's like, seriously, can you not? What if I'm next? Freaks me out. Date, could you introduce me to some big, strong man who can protect me?
Nah. I'm sure you'll be fine on your own.
No, I'll totally die.
Is it business as usual?
What? You gotta come closer. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you should have never gone back. I walk closer to the receptionist.
What can I say, you know? The biz is harsh, schedules are tight. If we shut down for even a day, we'd throw everyone else's schedules off. So they want to avoid that, of course.
Do you want to get some food sometime?
Huh? I can't... Oh, you asked me out before, didn't you? But it's kind of complicated. I told you, I am reptilian.
But you were just joking, right?
No, I'm serious. I only eat vegetables.
Ugh.
I am fairly sure she means
Vegetarian, yeah. Not reptilian. Where are you from?
I was born in Kawago, Saitama.
And why do you talk like that?
I don't know what you mean. I've spoken this way all my life. My parents speak with the same vernacular.
What are you doing here?
I have just finished conveying my client from Tameke Sano's studio. I was informed that the visit here would be brief, and thus I have decided to wait in this lobby.
About Mayumi. Before I arrived at Lemnis Gate, I got a picture of Mayumi from Abyss. I showed it to the driver.
Did you drive this passenger on Sunday night?
Ooh, I did indeed. I remember her well. The old hag.
Old hag.
Oh.
I took her on a tour of the streets of Tokyo. Our ultimate destination was the warehouse district in Ariake.
Why didn't you report this to the police?
Report it?
You don't know about the incident at the cold storage warehouse? It was all over the news.
No, I'm afraid not. Newspapers and television news programs have never been much of an interest to moi.
I agree. I don't watch them or read them at all myself. I have already taken her to Atami. I done that. Around here somewhere? So yeah, I've already taken her. Date gave up being a policeman and ignored the case, just gave up on the case and left. Describe what happened with Mayumi.
I recall it was around 10 in the evening. Near the Kabasaki district, an unassuming restaurant named Matsushita Diner. That's where I picked up the old hag. And as soon as she stepped foot in my conveyance, she was already barking orders at me. Follow that van, hurry! I must admit, I found it rather exciting, just like an old chase film. I, of course, insisted that I be paid up front. We pursued the van for roughly half an hour. Suddenly, the van came to a halt at a convenience store.
The Famisto along Koshu, right?
Precisely right. I am surprised you know that. In any case, I knew that the jig would be up if we were seen following the van. So I decided to drive past it. I parked at the 8 store, but 100 yards from there.
Yep.
While waiting for the object of our pursuit to make its next move, the old hag suddenly spoke up. I have to buy something, she declared, then made her way into the 8.
This must be when Mayumi bought the Odoroki Man chocolate.
A few minutes later, the old hag finished making her purchases and walked out. And then, at that very moment, I witnessed the van jet off at great speed down Koshu. I hurried the old hag inside my vehicle, then resumed the chase. We followed them for roughly half an hour more.
I see. If the driver's story is correct, Mayumi did not know that Oto was left behind at the Famisto.
No.
Mayumi thought Ota was in the van the whole time.
And that's how Mayumi got to the cold storage warehouse before Ota.
We then arrived at a splendid manor. The van entered the premises through the front gate and disappeared from view. We, of course, could not follow, so we waited outside.
So
I
Sujuna's
estimate
house?
another 10 minutes passed. The front gate opened once again, and the van drove out, and we pursued. But 30 minutes later, our pursuit was foiled again.
What happened?
The van drove into the restricted Kabasaki district.
Oh.
The old hag, of course, demanded that I follow. But I was not about to risk my license and livelihood. Instead, I parked on the road and waited for the van to drive back the way it came. But of course, we knew it might not take the same road back. In fact, we were not even sure the van would be coming back at all. But the old hag was not keen on giving up, so we began our stakeout. About 45 minutes later, the date had changed at this point. It was 12:25 a.m. on Monday.
How do you remember the time so well?
Yeah.
Well, you see, I always keep my radio dial on the same station. I remember precisely which programs were playing during this endeavor. Thus, I can approximate the time.
I see. Please continue.
At 12:25 a.m., the old hag's tenacious gamble paid dividends. The van returned down the same street. And thus, we again made pursuit. I kept considerable distance. We had come so far, I did not want to get caught now. But my caution backfired. I lost sight of the van in the Ariake warehouses. Without so much as a thank you, the old hag popped open the door and took off toward the warehouses. I waited for some time, but the old hag did not return. The goose was cooked at this point, so I made the decision to return home. I am glad I had the foresight to ask for payment in advance.
Yeah, that is one part I didn't understand about the car Ota took. He found a car that was running, that was unlocked, keys in ignition and running. So he jumped in and took it. While the driver was shopping. The owner was shopping. Why was the car running? And why were the keys in the ignition? That does not make sense to me. I do know someone personally. I'm not going to say who, of course. No one on Twitch or anyone knows who I am personally. So I do know someone personally that often leaves their car keys in the car. But don't leave the car running. So yeah, I don't understand that part. I have one more question.
I follow your story. I have one more question. Where is this manor the van stopped at?
Oh, every taxi driver in the city knows that residence. It is the personal home of Congressman So Sajima.
Yep, So Sajima's
Sajima?
house. Yep,
Why did the van go to So's house?
because he was the driver. Or one of
We need to
his...
speak with him immediately.
Agreed. Let's move.
The thing is, why is So killing these people? And taking an eye.
There's no one here.
Indeed.
I don't see So or his bodyguards.
I do not detect them either.
Let's go inside.
I agree, you should never leave your keys in the car, whether you're at home or not. And if you're leaving the car, always lock it as well.
Hey, Iba. Do you smell something funny?
You are aware that I do not possess the sense of smell, correct?
Oh, right. There's something strange about this vase. Ugh.
What is it?
Bolted,
This is definitely where the smell is coming from.
bolted
Is there
closed
something
at the
inside?
top.
Maybe, but the opening is covered by a metal plate.
The
Yep.
lid is fixed with a bolt. It will not open easily.
Yeah.
Then, as is standard procedure,
X-ray. Okay.
What the?
Date, destroy the vase!
Got it.
You don't need to shoot it to destroy it. Ooh. Eye missing as well.
So Sejima?
So's body cut into pieces, with an eye removed as well. Fragments of the broken vase